Here's the third section from this week's lecture content, which is about punctuation. The use of correct punctuation is something that helps to convey meaning in a text, and so often we find people have strong feelings about punctuation and whether it should be there or not. Those of us who believe in punctuation know that it can change the meaning to a level that is really necessary. So we teach about the functions of punctuation so that our students understand that there is a need for them in this case. It's not just something that's there for the fun of it, it's there to help change or clarify the meaning of something that you're putting into writing. We introduce and teach what is developmentally appropriate, and the Australian Curriculum English will give you some information about that. And of course we use our text as models because there are likely to be particular types of punctuation in particular types of text. For example, narratives will use speech marks, exclamation, question marks, and statements, which will need particular types of punctuation, whereas you're more likely to see commas, brackets, also called parentheses, in information texts. This is from your Wing Jan textbook, so you'll be able to see when you look at the particular type of texts that are used, where Wing Jan notes the teaching of punctuation that is relevant to those text types. We build on students' prior knowledge whenever we're building knowledge about punctuation, and that's, it stands, doesn't it, that's where we start. Providing examples is a really good way to teach punctuation, and allowing students, almost like in an investigation or a problem-solving task, allowing them to work out when and where those punctuation marks could be used, and that can become quite a motivating activity for students. It's important to teach what is needed at the point of editing, and that's where teacher conferences come in to play. So when you see a student who is needing or not using a punctuation mark correctly during that editing stage, it's a perfect teaching moment. During reading, you might call attention to the punctuation marks that have been used in text and how they assist with fluency or how they assist with showing the expression of a character, and of course that helps with comprehension. During writing, we're also looking at how punctuation can change the meaning of a text, and to make sure that the punctuation you're using is providing your intended meaning as a writer. Texts are terrific as a means of this, and one of the stimulus texts that I have used when teaching younger students is the book Good Dog Fergus, or Good Boy Fergus, and I'm going to give you a link to watch a clip of that book being read, and you might be able to see what sorts of teaching that I would have done with that text with young students. This is the text. I forgot to put a picture in for you. There you go. So not only is this just an absolutely gorgeous book about a wonderful dog, it contains really juicy conversation starters for thinking about punctuation. Just in this one double-page spread, you can see the use of capital letters, full stops, commas, apostrophes, exclamation marks, and of course all of those things help to see what's going on in on this page. You'll enjoy listening to the book if you get a chance to watch the YouTube clip. In the Australian Curriculum English, we see that one of the focuses is on how punctuation works to perform different functions, so that meets well with our aim of looking at its function. And of course you can see the increase in the complexity of punctuation throughout the years from Foundation to Year 6. In Year 1 we're looking at capital letters used for names, capital letters and full stops to signal the beginning and end of sentences. In Year 2, full stops, question marks, exclamation marks. and how those signal either statements, questions, or express emotion and give commands. And that is the way I have used the example text that I've just shown you before. In Year 2, we're looking at capital letters for proper nouns and commas used to separate items in a list. In Year 3, informal language with apostrophes of contraction, and to show that that letters are missing. So apostrophes of contraction are things like we're going, we, W-E apostrophe R-E, and of course the apostrophe of contraction is showing that the A is missing from we are. In Year 4, we're looking at quotation marks to signal dialogue in quoted or direct speech. Year 5, possessives, and that apostrophe, not of contraction this time, but an apostrophe of possession, and how that is used to show the ownership of things, in this case common and proper nouns. So Kylie's book and the table's decoration, for example. And in Year 6, using commas to separate clauses. So here is clauses, not just separating them in lists as we've seen in Year 2, but in this case separating clauses. Okay, I'm going to prompt you now to have a look at the Fergus video so you can see an example text that might teach punctuation. And in class this week, we will be looking at some punctuation in more detail. Thanks for watching the 3 lecture videos for this week.